I'm Sarah Scott,
Hi, I'm Bree Williams.
and we are auditioning for the role of travel TV show hosts.
And we have been friends for about 15 years, and we've known each other since we were 6 years old. And we became best friends in sixth grade. So the story behind that is that Sarah sat about 3 seats in front of me. And so, before I tell you that story, I've always wanted to be her best friend since fourth grade, but everybody else had her attention. They were hogging her, so I could never be super close to her because I always thought she was really cool.
I don't think that's true. So, I'm not convinced that's true, but
whatever. You know it's true. And so she sat 3 seats in front of me, sixth grade, and we would say hey to each other because we'd known each other for forever, and we were cordial, we'd speak. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden we started rolling our eyes at each other, and we were mean, and then we made up, and we became best friends, and the rest is history.
Sixth grade girl drama. And since then, Bree has been the maid of honor in my wedding, and we have somehow managed to make it so that the miles in between us seem to be like pretty insignificant, like traveling back and forth between where I was in college in Florence, South Carolina, and where I am now in Nashville in South Carolina. And it seems like no matter how much time has to go between the times that we see each other, it seems like it hasn't been any time at all.
Right.
So
we basically pick up where we leave off.
Right.
Whenever we see each other again.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as where I've traveled, I majored in world religions whenever I was in college, and that led to a study abroad trip to India where I got to study women in religion there. And that kind of sparked my love for travel. And since then, I've been to Venice and Guatemala, Thailand, and Cambodia. And I think the thing that Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think the thing that I've loved the most about traveling is just being able to experience cultures and have conversations with people who are coming from such different places than I am. Bree and I both grew up in a very small town in South Carolina where people look the same and tend to act the same and believe the same. And our parents even sent us to a private Christian school for a while. And it was just so refreshing when I got to these places where I could see people who live different lifestyles and get to experience different cultures and religions and just environments than what I was raised to believe was the normal, or just that I was constantly around as a kid.
Right. And even me being homeschooled during high school, these people, very small-minded, they have their little bubble, and they're all friends. They stay with the same people, and they marry within their bubble. It is a strange thing to me, and that's their norm. But for me and Sarah, that's not normal.
No.
Because we like to experience other people, and even just us with our friendships outside of our friendship, just an array of different people. Yep. They're all different, and they don't know each other. That's just who we are and how we've lived our life.
Yeah. Where have you traveled, Bree?
So places I've traveled, I basically have not traveled internationally. I've traveled on the East Coast, so from Florida all the way to New York City. And two of my favorite places will have to be D.C. and New York City for a couple of reasons. First reason, because it's totally different from what we're used to as far as really, we're used to slow life, and it's very busy, fast paced. Going. People are go-getters there. And also, the second reason is diversity. And just seeing different, cultures even meshing together. And even where my mom grew up, which was in a military town, it's kind of a culture shock because you see people mixing and interracial couples. It's just, It was strange to me because that's not what we're used to. And I genuinely love seeing that. Especially when I travel, I love diversity.
Right. And together, hop in, Bree, if I forget anything. Together, we have been to Atlanta and Asheville, North Carolina, and
Charlotte.
Yes, New York City, DC.
DC, and Charleston.
Yeah, did I already say Atlanta? I think I said Atlanta. I can't remember.
You did.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to tell the little bit of mayhem that happened to us in Charleston?
This is a normal thing. This always happens, but
the mayhem is a normal thing, not the story in particular.
But in Charleston, we went to the beach for the day. Mm-hmm. And so we had beer on the beach.
As
like
you
normal
do.
people do.
Right. Normal
and
behavior.
So once the day is over, we pack up all our stuff, put our empty beer bottles back into our beach bags. Didn't find any trash cans. I'm not sure why we didn't think about that, but I guess our beach bags were there, so it was like, okay.
Well, we didn't want to pollute the world, you know? Like, you want to recycle the glass. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway.
I'm making excuses for myself.
Right. So we travel back inland, and we were at a stoplight, and Sarah's driving, and so there's a turn signal that comes on. That turns green, and so she thinks that it's her turn to go. So all of a sudden, she hits the gas, and I'm like, no! And she stops immediately. And of course, there's a cop behind us, and he pulls us over, and he's like, ma'am, are you okay? Yeah, we're good. We're okay.
Just
so we're trying to play
distracted.
it off and act cool and normal.
Yeah.
And so as he's writing us a ticket, it hits me. We have empty beer bottles on the back. But thank God he never saw them. Wrote us a warning ticket.
Yeah.
And we were good. But stuff like that happens like it's normal. It's
right.
Totally normal.
Like we literally drove off and looked at each other like, oh my God, that was so close. Like such innocent behavior could lead to something so dangerous. And I think that's
We're not a liability, by the way.
I think that's why, like, that story is a really good illustration of, like, why Bree and I love to travel together so much is because somehow or another, when we're together, like, some sort of, like, funny, hilarious story is going to come out of it. And, like,
it never
not
fails.
That we're not irresponsible people, but, like, somehow or another, like, we always end up, like, having just a really good story, I think, to leave with. And
which makes it fun, and it makes us want to travel places together.
Exactly. And I think, like, and we've never done an international trip together, which is, like, a huge part of why we want so badly to do this, is because Bree and I both have, like, a lot of student loans, and it's, like, quite possible that this would be the only way that we'd be able to do something like this, where we could, like, spend an extended amount of time together, like, experiencing so much of the world.
Right.
And, like, if there's anyone that I'm going to go to, like, 50 states in a year or, like, 3 countries in a month or anything like that with, I would obviously choose the person who I've known since 6th grade and who I know that, like,
I totally agree.
I can be, like, totally real with, and, like, you know, and, you know, if we start to get stressed out, like, we know each other well enough to know, like, how to calm each other down, or, like, you know.
Right, we balance each other out.
Exactly.
If Sarah's calm, I'm going crazy. If I'm calm, Sarah's going crazy. We're like, get it together.
Right. And so it's like, it's a really nice balance for sure. And I think, like, my travel philosophy, and I know Bree's is very similar, like, my travel philosophy is that, like, I'm not the kind of person that cares a ton about, like, landscapes or, like, very specific buildings or anything like that. Like, I would rather be, like, where the people are, like, where the community is. So, like, maybe that's, like, temples or, like, festivals or, like, like actually talking to people in the area, like, experiencing, like, food that is local, not just food that's, like, catered to tourists, or, like, I want to, like, experience what the country truly is, with or without Americans there, you know? And and I think, like, that's been, like, why travel's been such a huge thing for me, is because it really does help you, like, not only understand yourself so much better and gives you, like, a spiritual sort of, like, revelation, like, every time you travel to a new place, but it also gives you a chance to, like, build really cool relationships with people who have, like, so much different lifestyles or, like, beliefs or, you know, cultures than you do.
Right, and it helps you, experiencing the world helps you understand the world. So that's a personal growth. and it opens your mind even more. You could say you're open-minded, but you're not as open-minded as you think you are until you travel other places and you're around other people.
That's so true.
So that's one thing that I definitely learned. Right. And I know you did too, because we're both former AmeriCorps members, and that's something that we had to learn very fast because it was thrown in our faces.
Yeah.
Second, we went to training.
Yeah. And, like, for example, you think you're adventurous until you're on the streets in Thailand and you're offered a scorpion on a stick. And then those are the moments where you realize, like, oh, like, I still have a lot of growing to do in terms of my, like, sense of, you know, adventure or risk taking. Right. But I think, like, Bree, do you want to share, like, your philosophy on traveling before I keep talking?
Oh, no, you're good, because that's basically mine as well, is exploring other places and the people. Like, we're both people person. Yeah, people person. I think that's the right word.
People.
And so we like to talk to people, be around people, and build relationships.
Yeah, we're both definitely, like, extroverted people, for sure.
Yes, very much so. I think you're more extroverted than I am.
Well, see, that's funny because I would describe you as a social butterfly for sure.
Future politician, just kidding.
I think we take turns, right? Like, you know, when you're feeling more extroverted.
Yeah.
I'm like, so.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah. So I think, like, at the end of the day, like, the reason that Bree and I would be really good for this is because we are both, like, very adventurous people, and we're both, like, we can find humor in, like, the most stressful situations.
Literally anything.
Like a cop being behind you and, like, beer bottles being in your car and just being able to be like, oh my, like, how did this happen? And so I think, like, and that's one thing that I'm, like, so thankful to Bree for, is because I feel like there have been so many stressful moments in my life where, like, she's been able to, like, make me laugh at it. And I think that's so important in a travel partner, is, like, someone who can, like, help you find like the opportunity and the good in, like, potentially scary or stressful situations.
And I think we're very similar, and the more we, I guess, see each other and have conversations, we realize we're even more alike, which is scary. But it's also very comforting to know that there's someone out there who's basically another part of you.
It's so true.
So
we even wear the same shoe size, and we're the same height.
Same height.
Like,
so if we do end up traveling together, we'll be swapping clothes.
Oh yeah. You'll probably see me wearing lots of Bree's clothes and vice versa.
Right.
Our parents are, like, still surprised when they see us together that we're, like, the same size.
Like,
and, like,
oh my god. We freak them out because we are the same person.
Essentially, yeah. Absolutely. My mom's like, I can't believe you two are still so much alike after all these years.
We haven't changed that much.
No. All right. Closing thoughts. I don't know. We have a lot more to talk about on Saturday, I think. But long story short is I think that, like, if Bree and I were to do this trip together, we would get a lot of funny stories, and there'd be a lot of laughter, and there would be a lot of, like, personal development and, like, revelations and just, like, really good conversation, and it would just be an amazing time.
I think so too. So it would be really exciting, not just for me, but for her as well.
Yep, sure thing. All right, over and out.